Hello friends, welcome to this nugget. Do read the disclaimer. Very important data point from World Gold Council report. What it is showing is the last 75 years of central bank gold purchases in tons. So you can see there was a period where in the 1950s where central banks were buying 5 to 700 tons per year on average year. And then from the 1960s that dropped to zero. And in fact, there was a period where central banks were selling gold. So Bank of England, Bank of Canada, they actually sold their gold in this period, as well as in the 1990s to 2009 period. So it is not that central banks have always bought gold. In fact, when the Nixon shock came in August 1971, where the dollar was unpegged from gold, even then, there was no net addition of gold for the next 15 odd years. And in fact, after this no net addition, the UK then decided that we will offload 395 tons and Switzerland 1300 tons into the market, which suppressed the market for almost a decade. And it's only in 1999 when the central banks came to an agreement that there will be a cap to how much they can sell in any 5 year period. And that's when the 99 onwards, the market started to recover and where we are right now. So in 99, 2000, the gold market was somewhere near 200, $250, and we are now at $3,400. Now, what happened post 2008, post the GFC environment, is that central banks came to realize that the system is heavily indebted, and these kind of shocks uh, can have repercussions, and hence we must improve our reserves in terms of non-fiat currency reserves also. And they started buying again. You can see from 2008 till about 2020, on average about 500 tons of gold. And then you had the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, where the dollar assets of Russia were seized by the Western countries, and that instilled a fear in all central banks that our assets can also be seized at any point of time, and hence we need to accumulate more gold in our reserves. And you can see in the last 3 years, instead of the average 500 tons per year, central banks have been accumulating 1,000 tons per year. Now, this additional 500 tons demand that has come in the market recently in the last 2, 3 years has caused a major price change. See, when the total production of gold is 3,000 tons, China and India consume about 1,800 tons. Central banks were consuming 500 tons, and the rest of the countries and institutions were consuming the rest. Now, suddenly, one of the buyers has started to consume double. So, where will the supply come from? Either the production should have gone up, which is not going up, it is stagnant for the last 7 years. So, basically, it is the resale component. The weaker hands will start to give in at every level. Even in India, for instance, many jewelers are saying that at 75, 80,000 levels, people really sold off their old gold. And now, even at nearly 100,000, there is not much selling happening because a lot of folks who had to sell have already sold. So this is the situation currently. If this carries on for a few more years, and the polls that World Gold Council has done of 73 central bankers recently, the poll suggests that this trend is not going to change. And if this trend is not going to change, the price of gold continues to go up, and it can go up many folds. So that's the situation from a gold demand supply position. I hope this data gave you some new knowledge. Do share these videos, and if you have any comments, do drop them in the comment box, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.